welcome to day 15 of Myra's Crafting Playground's Advent Calendar, card Advent Calendar. So today we have another little ditty for you using the Dear Santa set. So here's our card, and it is a little pop-up card. So to mail it, it folds flat, but then after it's opened, if it's put against the label that's popped up a bit, it gives it a little bit of a pop-up look. So that's today's card. It's cute, isn't it? So this is done out of green foil, gold foil, and this is just real red cardstock, and I've got glitter paper happening here. This is from the, let me just reach down and get the paper name, A Little Bit Festive. So it's candy cane on one side of one of the sheets, and I believe on the other side was the Christmas tree and ornaments. So, and then I've got some organza ribbon happening there, and that's about it. So it's not too difficult, but to me it's cute as a button. So let's get down to the table and get busy. There we go. And my same messy worksheet that I've been using. Waste not, want not, right? It's still a good protecting sheet for my table. So I have the card here. I'm just trying to see if I can get it visually into the frame. And I'll pick up all my pieces over here that I prepped, including my Christmas tree and my ribbon, and we have the card there in the corner. Is that better? Yeah. Okay, so what I've done is I've cut my cardstock the long ways. So this is 11 inches by 4 1/4. I scored it at 5.5 and then 2 3/4. And so what that will do is it'll allow me to fold it in half like I would a card. But then when I fold this piece, and I folded it so it pops up, that gives me my card base, okay? And the one thing, let me just say it now while it's on my mind, because I'll tell you, when I made my sample card, I boopered. But don't forget, and even though I know I still boopered, don't forget that when you're gluing this piece here, you don't want to put your tape all the way up to the top. You just want it halfway, or if you're using glue or whatever you're using. You know, to be extra safe, you could put your glue on this panel, but yeah, I'm just so accustomed to putting it on the piece that I'm attaching. So let's get started. Let's reduce the number of pieces. So I have my two bases, one that's here framed on the edge, and the other one that's down here on the edge as well. And there's the other side of that paper. You probably saw that in one of my other projects. I know, because this is the end of this paper. I went looking for pieces going, oh my goodness, do I even have enough left? But I did, even though I made a bad cut on one sheet. Measure twice, cut once. I didn't that time, and lo and behold. But anyhow, we had enough paper, so let's go. I'm putting this down. And you know, some people have this way of leaving the tear tape on, and they put down a corner, and then once they feel everything's good, then they pull it out from underneath. I never could manage that. I'm more of an eyeballer myself. The only tip that I can give you when it comes to putting these things down is if you've got 2 sides right, 4 sides will be right. So just bear that in mind, and I'll show you what I mean. So if you're putting it down, now I do it from a bird's eye, so I get it sort of, but then if you focus in on the top and one side and they're good, your other sides are going to be good too. So it's just, that's how I eyeball it when I'm putting it down. So we can put this piece inside, and I did have another piece that I cut for your message in there, and that was 3 1/4 by 3 1/2, I believe, which I think I forgot to cut for for this card, but anyhow, just so you know, it is there. So before I put this down, because I know I'll probably forget otherwise, I'm going to pop my ribbon down so it wraps around the base. And you can see that I just want it, I don't know, what is that, maybe 1 inch from the bottom from the card, and if you're looking at the white, that's what, 1/2 inch. So it's, you know, not rocket science here. I'm just sort of eyeballing it again, but I believe that's all right. Maybe I shouldn't be so casual, but let's just see, what have we got here? Yep, 1/2 inch. 1/2 inch on here. Okay, and so now this piece can go inside the card. Okay, so that's done. Now for the front of the card, I'm going to have that same thing with the ribbon that we'll have to make sure and not forget it, but I might have to put it a bit lower so that it grabs the tape across the back. Maybe let's put on our tree first. Alright, so let's decorate this front piece first. So I have my tree, and I cut a little star. This tree is, let me get my pieces out here. So the die cuts that I used my Everyday Nesting Essentials, and then this tree and this star comes from this set here, Merriest Trees. And if you get the bundle, there are all kinds of things in here. There's a tag, so you could make tags for your gifts. There's ornaments for the tree. There's a base if you wanted to do that. I'm not even sure what that is. I'm not sure. Oh, those could be presents, maybe even. There's a couple different stars that 4 stars, ornaments, 3 ornaments, 1, 2, 3, and the one I'm using, 4 sizes of trees, presents, all kinds of things. So it's a great little set. And then of course the stamp set that comes with it, you can see what's included there on the cover. So a cute little set, but I opted to use the Christmas tree, so that's what I have in the background there. Without the tree, it was a little bit plain. I wanted something, and I thought the little girl might be sitting by the tree. There's no presents yet because Santa hasn't come yet, but she's sitting by the tree making out her list for Santa. So that was my thought pattern. So yeah, those were the dies that I used. And this is the Dear Santa set. So I'm using this image here. There's also 2 children decorating the tree, somebody either eating her cookies or eating Santa's cookies. It depends on your sense of humor. And this little guy who looks like he's skating for the very, very first time. So it is a cute little set, and that's what we're using today. So let me put down my tree. So I've glued the star onto the top of the tree, and I am now just, do I want to put my ribbon down first? Maybe I do. Maybe I do. Look at the indecision that's happening here. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm going to put my ribbon down first, and I will need the tape back here to glue it in place. So I'm just going to put that on and grab the tape behind there. So before I end up gluing it somewhere I'm not supposed to, let's just finish this off. I've got my ribbon on. That's the most important thing, because I was sure, by golly, I was going to forget it. I won't tell you how many times I use that dental floss trick I was telling you about yesterday to lift things so that I can get my ribbon in that I forgot to get. So see, we did a good job. There's nothing showing back there. And so now we'll get our tree down, and the ribbon will be behind the tree, which is fine. So I'm just looking to center my tree a bit. Choose a line and go with it. So I decided on this skinny line, so it's pretty much up there on the skinny line. Then we have all these little pieces here. So these are all the ones cut out of the Essentials die. Now my little girl, I colored her in real red. I think this was garden green. And her hair is either pecan, I think it's pecan pie, yes. And I used my alcohol ink Stampin' Blends for that. Oh, and her eyes, just around the black pupil, I colored in some blue there. And then, of course, the Neutral Ivy for her skin, which, of course, can be changed to match whatever skin color you'd prefer her to be. And there she is. So I'm not going to color that for you, but those are the colors that I used. So I have some pop dots here, using up some of my scraps, and even bringing in some of the mini dimensionals for the little edge here. Our mini dimensionals are really good to get into little corners and things, that so you're not trimming the big ones. So she's popped up on the glitter. Then I put the glitter flat on the red matte piece, but then my red matte piece is popped as well. So got a lot of popping going on here. It just gives it a bit of texture and dimension, and yeah, we're going with it. Alright, so let's get our little girl down here on the mat. Alright, and then I'm going to pop her up on the tree. I hope you're liking this. I just found it bright and cheerful. I like my cards to be bright and cheerful. Sometimes they're a little bit dull, but overall I try and make them as cheerful as I can. So I'm going to get her on the tree, and I should have this flat just for my visual as I put her down. Okay, so she's sitting there, and the one thing I can do is put my little bow on the side. So we've sort of done the top of the card before finishing it off, but the order doesn't really matter, whatever you prefer. So I'm just going to pop that bow on the side. Like I said, this was just red organza ribbon out of my stash. I'm sure you could use other colors there too. Maybe if you had a thinner one, you might try going gold or something like that. All right, now my bottom piece is popped as well, and so will this, but I haven't put anything on there yet because I still have to stamp my Dear Santa. So we can go back to that discussion about should we cut first, stamp first, but I'm not going to try and disappear off camera to get my cutting done, so here we go. All right, commit and go. That's the way it is, just commit and go. All right, there's my Dear Santa. So now I can pop that up. There we go. Look, I got a new sheet of dimensionals starting. That was a bit close to the edge. Okay. Okay. Now the reason I've popped this so much is because it's what holds the tenting of the cover up. So I want to make sure that it's got enough to grab onto. So there we go. Then we'll pull the backings off the dimensionals under here, using up my scraps. I can't believe how much tape I've gone through this, but of course making 2 cards a day will do that. Alright, let me see if I can get this centered nicely. There you go. Card done, essentially. All I want to do is add some rhinestones. So I had put my my tear tape like this down on here on my rhinestones, and then I was using my tape, and all of a sudden I realized my tape had all kinds of rhinestones on it, and I thought, well, now how did that happen? And well, you can guess how it happened. Somebody was silly and not careful about where they put their tape, or their rhinestones for that matter. So I'm doing 3 on the faceplate and on the Dear Santa. Oh, all right, let's just follow what we did. And there we go. 2 more cards for next year's collection. I hope you enjoyed that, and we'll see what comes tomorrow. So happy crafting. Thank you for joining in.